Welcome back, guys, to the Curiosity Experiment. We're glad that you are here for another episode. Q, I wasn't even aware we had paid vacation with this gig, but apparently we can take vacations. I did not know that, and so
who's been paying you?
Well, I got snagged a few sponsors I hadn't told anybody about.
Is it those things?
No, those have been here for a month, and
Okay. Yeah.
I almost ate one anyway.
You was kind of hoping they would pick us up.
Tweet that, you idiot. All right, now, so we got Derek. Hey, I'm here. We got Clay. Clay's usually here, and
I do have shoes on too.
Oh,
hey. Yeah.
He's got shoes on.
Specifically boots. But, yeah.
Boots, scoot, and boogie.
There you go.
Oh, sorry. And then we've got Todd Smart from the Fellowship joining us.
Just as a little bit of introduction. So Todd is the youth pastor of the Fellowship, the worship pastor, the plumber,
janitor,
anything. What you run the church, correct?
I don't run the church. I just do all the jobs nobody else wants to do.
CEO, CFO, all the other
15 years. Hard to believe.
You've been at Fellowship for 15
years. Yeah.
Wow.
Hard to believe.
When you went there 15 years ago, were you the youth pastor?
Youth and children.
I
did children.
You're still children, aren't you?
No. I've done a few things with the children. I've helped with VBS and went to camp for them last year. So right now we need a
officially. You're not.
I'm not official. Yeah.
I got you.
I've helped out with it. Some things.
And our logo guy, we tried to get Todd's face over Q's, but we couldn't make that happen.
That would have been great.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been great.
You won't be here next week.
Yeah, it'll be ready for me. Yeah. Whoever fills in for me next week,
you know that's going to happen.
You can guarantee that your face will be covered up next year or next week.
That's the bad thing about being smart on your feet. You say stuff and then it can't happen right away.
It backfires.
Yeah, it happens later.
I'm gonna scoot closer to the table.
Yeah, you scoot on. You need to
scoot on up and join us.
All right, so listen, what we're gonna do tonight is, or today, depending on when you're listening to this, but we're gonna do another one of our random thoughts,
just random
episodes. So if you remember the last time that we did this, it was with Darren, and in my opinion, that may be the best episode that we ever did. Because
that was probably because we had Darren.
I mean, Darren's the coolest guy on the planet.
He is. I didn't believe you at first, but then after I met him,
yeah. I mean,
who was Darren?
He was my youth pastor.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Episode 6. If you haven't watched,
I'll go back and watch that.
Yeah. So Darren, as just a recap of last random thoughts, Darren was a surfer in South Carolina. He
raised Tony Hawk.
He skated with Tony Alva and some of those other guys. If you don't know who that is, it's the Lords of Dogtown.
Yeah.
If you don't know who the Lords of Dogtown they are the people who created skateboarding.
Oh, sweet.
He skated with those guys.
That's pretty awesome.
And he's the coolest guy and the kindest guy on the planet. Anyway, we had that episode. We don't need to keep rehashing that episode.
I thought you were going to start quoting stuff from it.
Oh, no.
Cut!
So tonight is Random Thoughts again, and so we've got a couple of things that we want to talk about. So just to start off, very specifically, Derek wanted to talk about the show Stranger Things.
Great show.
Are you caught up?
Listen,
do not talk about the last two. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to watch that with my whole family.
Oh,
and we're supposed to watch it together. Well, we can't get everybody together since the new episode came out. Since the two, we've watched to the last two.
You know the song "Cats in the Cradle"?
Yeah.
Little boy blue in the mirror. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when.
I got two kids. I got two kids in Russellville. I got kid at volleyball just got home, and then we can't get together.
Okay.
I told somebody today.
I thought you were like kidding for a second, like naming all your illegitimate children.
Oh, I did hear. Well, never mind. There's a Netflix. There's
our father.
Speaking of
our father.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's got 90.
You heard about that?
98 kids.
No, because I've been in Stranger Things.
Or 90 something.
I'm living
it's a Netflix documentary. We're not necessarily endorsing it. Don't know.
Yeah, right.
Don't know, but
I've not seen it.
I hadn't either.
But my wife has.
It's a show. It's a documentary about this guy that worked at a fertility clinic.
Oh.
And how do you put it? He
I think you can.
He made some deposits. and so apparently he has
viewership is either going way up or way down.
He's got 98 children.
98.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think you can figure out what he
Yeah,
did if he's
sure.
I
out
hope
of here.
this camera right here captured when you split that
If you don't
between
know-
my face and your
If
face.
you don't know what the word deposit means, just Google it.
No! Don't Google it.
They can Google deposit.
Okay.
All right. So anyway,
Oh,
all right, let's get
gosh.
back to Stranger Things. So before y'all start talking about it, let me just go ahead and say, and you're probably gonna hate me, and this is probably not gonna surprise you one bit
Oh my
because
gosh,
y'all
he
know me.
doesn't like
Never
it.
seen it.
Never seen the
Never
first
seen it.
episode.
The only thing that I know about the show at all is that they have horrible haircuts.
It's the
but
80s.
It's like going back in time and
It's
reliving
Alright, look.
my childhood.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I don't because I
but
don't
you didn't
wanna-
grow up in the 80s, so it wouldn't be.
He didn't either.
I didn't,
But it's kinda-
but I'm a history teacher.
You
I
did
was
grow up in
a
the
history-
80s, correct?
I did grow up in the 80s.
Used to be. A
Did you
history
have
teacher.
one of those haircuts?
What's that?
Did you have a bowl cut?
I did have a bowl cut.
My
Now
dad
look,
did.
it doesn't matter what.
My mom
decade.
used to cut my hair.
Yep. But here,
Well,
it
Did
doesn't
she
matter.
put a bowl on your head and then cut around it?
No, she never did
That's a
the
good
actual
catch.
bowl. She did a pretty good job though.
It doesn't matter what decade we're talking about. Will Byers' haircut is terrible. Okay, so like it, I agree, but that doesn't take away.
I didn't
from
say
the
it, did
story
you? I
and
didn't
the
say it.
writing.
I'm just telling you
and
that that's
here's
all
what
I know about
Here's
the
what
show.
I look. I've got some friends that like I'm waiting for them to finish.
Hold on. This is a good opportunity because I literally know nothing about the show. So explain it to me.
Okay, so
I'm glad you're doing this because
Hawkins, 1983. Okay, and you have a group of friends.
I don't mean like a description of each episode. I just mean like
All right,
overview.
it's sci-fi. Like
Okay,
there's
okay.
some extra,
Aliens?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's
Pretty much.
dimensions. There's an alternate reality that
A
these
metaverse.
aliens
Coincides.
Multiverse?
Yeah,
it's like you
And
have
so
this, and then you have the.
It's called
we've
the
got
upside
upside-
down. It's the
the
upside,
upside
down.
down, yeah.
We've got to do a whole episode on the multiverse at some point.
Yes. So
Go ahead.
So the very first episode of the whole series, one of the main characters goes missing, and he's actually taken to this other realm, the upside down, by some sort of creature, and you don't know what it is. And then so the whole
Like
first
Alien?
season, yeah,
Like
and
the,
then
like the movie.
They're
Yeah.
alien
and
looking.
then, yeah, and then you have a girl pop up who has powers, and her name is 11, and she is the kind of the savior of the show. Of she can fight this and
Fight this creature.
just here's what I told. I was waiting for a friend to finish, and I was like, "Are you finished yet? Are you finished yet?" And it was actually there's like 3 people in this group that and like, "Are you finished yet?" And it's like, "No, not finished." And so my statement to them was, "If you don't cry on the last episode, we're not friends." Okay, because this
Who
last,
dies? No, don't tell me.
You don't
Hey, all right. So let me ask this question.
ask me this question.
You know me well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would I cry?
Well, you don't have tear ducts. And you don't have an emotional part of your brain. So,
My amygdala do not fire.
no, Colonel Sanders. Something's wrong with your amygdala. No, but I do think you. The way that you think, I'm surprised you haven't watched it because I think, like, the
I was too busy
story-
being productive.
Oh my gosh! I was reading the book.
I'm just kidding. I wasn't.
I think that the story is so. And here's the thing: when we had that month in between Volume 1 and Volume 2, I started over, and I got like halfway.
Rewatched.
I got like halfway through Season 1, and there's so many things in Season 1 that I went.
But you know what's gonna happen.
I do, but I'm just saying,
It's
like,
I didn't remember Murray. Is it Murray? Being in like.
Bill?
not Bill. No, no.
But he was the one asked to come like find the
Yep.
missing.
Yep, the Russians.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or he was the
All right, so
conspiracy
you have,
theorist.
you have. Here's what you have. You have the.
Are
you
the
have
protagonists
80s.
Ukrainian?
No, they're Russian. Well, they're it's the aliens, but the Russians are like. All right, so here's what you have.
It's
You've
the Cold War,
You've
and
got
it's-
Cold War.
Okay,
the
we're
end of the
cold-
Cold
okay,
War.
yeah,
You've got this Russian element that pops up.
So we've got
You
sci-fi
have-
in here.
Yes,
Yes.
you have quintessential '80s parenting in the fact that like they just leave. You know, the
They
kids
get on
are
their
like they
bikes
get on their
and go.
bikes and they go,
And
like
it's the good old days.
it's the good old days.
and I remember doing that.
Yeah.
I would leave on my bike and not get home till after dark.
So it's just the story has been like a lot of people didn't like season 2, but I think that in any series,
it's setting you up.
Well, this is 4, and there was. And here's the thing about 4: they actually were halfway done producing 4 when COVID hit, and they had to stop production. And because we're dealing with teenagers, because they were like 11 and 12 and 13 when this started. Because we were dealing with teenagers and they stopped production, when they came back, there was like a noticeable difference. They were
like a foot taller.
His voice dropped 3 octaves.
Can I ask this question?
Ask me a question.
And perhaps this is getting a little off subject.
That's fine. It's a random episode.
And perhaps I shouldn't even mention this. Maybe we edit this out because I'm getting a little. I don't know if this is political or not.
You said deposits earlier. So.
I did. I'm just trying to be logical and practical here. Okay, so a week or two ago, me and Carissa go to the beach, right? And I don't do well. I don't do well at the beach. I don't. 1, because I don't like sand. 2, I'm scared to death of sharks, so I don't get in the ocean. And then my wife wants to just sit there, and I don't understand that one bit.
So
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay, continue. Go ahead.
So while I'm sitting there in somewhat agony, I'm thinking, because this is what I do, right? And I tap Carissa on the shoulder because she's asleep at this point. And I said, didn't they, like in the height of the pandemic, didn't they shut down the beaches? And she said, yeah, they did. And I said, why? Because like I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking like if they're
were the beaches closed?
Yes, they shut the beaches down. But here's like if there is any environment for the person 10 foot away from me to have COVID and then their little COVID germs come out of their nose and just skedaddle right past me, it would have been the beach. Why would you close? What was the point of closing the? My point was, why did they stop filming? That don't make no sense.
Well, I mean, because
large groups of people just gathering there, going out to eat. I mean,
number one, it was Hollywood.
It's illegal.
It was Hollywood.
It's illegal to do that.
I mean, yeah, it was at a point. And then
not trying to get
there's
political.
a lot of physical
not saying
contact.
COVID is fake or not like that. There's just asking questions.
There's a lot of contact with those actors and actresses.
Oh,
I mean, I didn't mean like.
What kind of show you been watching?
not deposits.
That's a bit much.
Cut.
So when we upload these episodes to YouTube, it asks,
"Is it appropriate?
Are these episodes made for children?"
Yeah.
This one's gonna be a no.
When I upload,
actually, all of them are.
When I upload my video game clips, I always click no. No.
So let's talk about the beach more.
All right. Tell me. All right. I want to know. So, like, I would say that 99% of people would say I'm afraid of sharks. Mm-hmm. To me, that's logical. Mm-hmm. That's not.
Yeah.
But to say that I'm afraid of sharks, so I don't swim in the ocean, like you don't get in the ocean.
It's a definition of phobia.
So you have a phobia,
I suppose.
So you don't get in the ocean.
Nope. Well, that's not true. Yes, I do. Actually, this year I ventured out more than I have.
So how far are we talking?
So normally I do not get above my knees.
You went waist deep?
I went chest deep? I went neck deep.
Neck deep?
Well, that's even farther than I go.
Yeah, I don't get that deep.
But let me just tell you.
Did you get to the second sandbar? If you did, holy cow.
All right, so let me tell you
what. The waves are breaking.
Let me tell you what.
Yards out.
Let me tell you what
turned
happened.
into Michael Phelps. I love the ocean. I love it.
Let me tell you what happened, though, because you get the fruits of your labor, right? So this is Monday. Okay, we go to the beach on Monday, and again, I usually just go to my knees, and that's it. That is it.
But you don't have to wear shoes.
Were the waves good?
No.
Oh
no. So it's yellow flag. So that gives you any indication.
I need that red flag though.
So anyway, I'm like, you know what? This is ridiculous. A phobia. The definition of a phobia is something that prevents you from living your normal life.
He's like coaching himself.
I am. I'm sitting there like this.
Suck it up.
Like the statistical likelihood of you being bitten by a shark is astronomical.
Yeah,
it's astronomical. So
you're less likely, or you're more likely to probably get hit by lightning.
Yeah. I'm the guy that gets. See, this is why I don't. This is why, like, I have such bad luck though. Like, I'd be the guy that got bit by a shark while being struck by
Here's his
lightning.
mind. Here's his mind. There's going to be a shark attack, and somehow he's going to end up on the shark's back and, like, trying to survive. Then while he's on the shark's back,
gouging out his eyes.
He's going to get struck by lightning. He's going to be the only man in history that was struck by lightning
while being bit
in the water, in the ocean, while riding the back of a shark.
That's it. That would happen to me.
I need that in,
And then an
in
orca,
some sort of graphic.
And then an orca would come and
Free Willy.
Yeah, would finish me off.
Free Willy.
Yeah, I'd be the first guy on the planet that was attacked by a
Like
dolphin.
the River Jordan.
So anyway, I branch out. And I'm like, you know what? This is ridiculous. I go to my neck. I've got anxiety the entire time, but
because you went too far.
Okay, so I go back. We go back to my sister's house because she lives in Gulf Shores. We go back to my sister's house. I'm sitting there scrolling through Facebook. I be dadgummed if I don't come upon James Spann resharing this woman's picture of 2 7-foot bull sharks on the beach.
That you were at
on Monday. Yes. Yes.
That's stuff you need to read after vacation.
We went back to the beach Thursday. You boy did not get
anywhere close to. Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing. You asked about waves, and I think and we're going to talk about this in a minute. You have older kids.
Yes.
Well, for us that have younger kids, so like I divide my life with vacation to the beach, pre-kids and now post-kids. So like
it's a difference.
Pre-kids, it was like, give me the red flag day. I hope there's a tropical depression out in the Gulf, just making waves and rip currents and let me just ride. And I would literally ride waves from sun up till sundown and just get wrecked. Yeah. And when it's like to the point when you laid down at night. When you laid in your bed in the beach house,
sore.
Well, you're sore, but it still feels like you're moving. Yeah. You're just like, whatever. Yeah. Now, as a dad of 2 small, totally dependent, non-swimming children,
it's no fun.
That literally need a flotation bubble that's shark-proof, lightning-proof, drown-proof. It's like, please, no waves. God, please, no. No waves.
Add a lake. Add into that scenario a phobic fear.
I've got to be strong for my kids.
So I remember one time my family went to the beach, and it was like we were in Gulf Shores. We were in one of the
your family when you were a child.
I was a teenager, and may even been 20-something because I want to say that Mallory was on this trip, so we would have been either about to be engaged or still just boyfriend girlfriend. But we went with my whole family. We were dating. And we're on the beach, and it's crowded, and so there's a lot of people. And there's this lady, the loud lady that has no idea how loud she is in public. You know, she's talking about this and she's talking about that, whatever. And then all of a sudden, she sees something not where her kids are swimming. She sees something 853 miles out, almost to Mexico, and it's a fin. Mm-hmm. But if you've been to the beach more than 15 minutes, you know that if it goes like this...
It's a dolphin.
It's a dolphin, okay? She literally loses her... Get out of the water! Get out of the water! And she jumps up off her towel. She's screaming. And everybody around us is going, but that's a dolphin. But those are dolphins. Those are not... That's just... She is losing her mind. I feel like that's Clay when... he sees anything with his phobia.
You're 100% correct.
We never went to the beach when I was growing up. The only time I went to the beach was youth camp.
Yep.
That was the only vacation I ever got being a pastor's kid.
Yep.
I mean, that was it. So we didn't do the beach thing a whole lot.
We've got to use this.
Oh, yeah.
So all right,
that's just a shadow.
Just a back.
That could be a jellyfish.
So there's two people in our church that went to the beach. I mean, more than 2 people.
I saw a video of a manatee.
Michelle and Ben Johnston. Shout out to them. Okay, is
that it?
I'm showing this because I bent over laughing.
Is it talking about a manatee, as in like the big sea cow?
Like big,
yes.
Yeah.
And this is Gulf Shores.
Yes. So
wait, what?
Yeah.
So Ben and Michelle are entirely too far out into the ocean, and this is a manatee right here. And they don't know that.
Is there? There's
the people are on the pier. That's why they've got such a good close, and they're out there.
Oh, they'll zoom in. You just wait. Yeah. So a manatee looks like a big old walrus.
Yeah, it's like a big hairless cow in the ocean.
Hey, but you start seeing that big old black shadow like that,
dude.
Is that paddle boards or kayaks?
Hey,
they're
one
not.
of them. One of them is.
There's nothing.
One of them looks
She's
like
on
a
a
really
float.
good swimmer.
Oh,
Because he gets going here in a minute.
It's floating right.
now see, look,
right towards Ben.
just examining this video. To me, they're too far out.
Oh, yeah.
I like
they
to
look-
they're too
they
far
look
out.
too- 200 yards
watch,
out.
Watch Ben see the manatee. Or
This is your friend Ben. This is okay.
That's him.
And this is Facebook viral stuff.
No, I don't know that went viral.
It needs to go
They
viral.
got with.
Oh, gosh.
people. Oh, there he is. Like, what is this? What is it?
Babe,
like, oh, wait.
babe,
Watch it.
something's in the water.
She swims right over. it.
She goes right over.
Oh look, oh gosh, I'm leaving you. Look, there is no.
He's gone.
Bye.
He is gone.
Bye. I don't have to be the fastest swimmer. I just have to outswim my wife. Just have to.
So
Well,
anyway.
they're not. They don't look as far now, but
They were pretty far out.
initially that looked too far.
Yeah.
That's too far.
This is why I brought the TV in here. That's
Now-
fantastic. We should have brought some video games.
Is that on the showing on the?
I'll have to edit it in.
That's neat.
Yeah, but it will be. Yeah.
He's so technologically
I know, that's pretty
advanced.
sweet.
All right, so my other question.
Are we
this
just talking about beach still? Or?
All right, so have you ever seen an alien at the beach?
So the question now, ultimately, because man, we're talking about Stranger Things. Somehow we got the beach in there in between, but
Yeah, I don't know how.
I mean, Stranger Things. You're talking about aliens, so let's talk about aliens. Like, do you believe in aliens, Todd?
I don't know if I believe in aliens.
I have a very deep question. I'll ask here in a minute.
Yeah. Are there unexplained
phenomenon.
the flying discs and
Which-
I mean, there's video. I mean, of these guys that are in the Navy.
Congress
they're-
released.
and they're
the
still
Tic Tac video,
and there's
And the Tic
still
You ever seen
like
Tic Tac?
videos that they have not released yet that are even more telling of what's going on. And then you've got
I personally think Independence Day with Will Smith was based on a true story. We
Think
just
so?
don't know about it.
yeah. Nobody remembers the
because we-
explosion.
you know, it was shortly after Roswell, right, that the first Alien movie came out in like
Very
1940.
interesting.
Explain Roswell. What are you talking about?
Roswell, New Mexico.
Yes, where they
Alien
supposedly
capital?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's where
where
they
they-
supposedly have found or they captured spaceship crashed.
They took the alien to Area 51.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
And
remember. Yeah,
I'm
Studied
convinced.
it.
Like, it would be the greatest thing of all time. I know it's not true. Like, they got some really high classified aircraft stuff, at Area 51. I'm sure stuff.
But
I want it to be
go
like
so bad.
like at the end of time, and we get to ask questions, and somebody's like, "What was at Area 51?" And the government's like. It was just like the best collection of Yu-Gi-Oh cards ever.
I mean, that's my
Like,
thing.
you
is
wanted
like-
some Pokemon?
It's
We
like
had
the
it.
National Book of Secrets, the National
Yeah.
Treasure Book of Secrets.
Yes.
That would be the first thing
Yes.
I would look up.
So-
like, what
If you were
is at
president,
Roswell?
like
if
you
I was
go-
president,
Yeah,
I know-
Of course, you could just get. Well, I don't, is the president able to go to Area 51?
Oh,
we probably doesn't have the clearance.
I bet he don't.
Hey,
I'm dead serious.
hey,
I don't.
probably not this one.
And just like that, the Curiosity Experiment's Republican.
I mean, that dude's like shaking hands that aren't there. Like he's like, but I do know
cards,
that
yeah.
there was. I don't know if this is true. I have no proof of this. It's just something I read on the internet. But that there's workers that fly out of Las Vegas International on like an unmarked set. Like that's how they get to Area 51 every day. Like they basically fly in on this unmarked 737 and then they work and then they come back. And so it's like,
it's
Donald
interesting.
Trump Jr. says father could reveal intel by aliens.
oh my gosh, a joke just popped in my head.
Easy now. Easy.
Is that how he got his orange skin?
Obama
All right,
asks
I
officials.
think that yes, there are unexplained. I mean, obviously UFOs, unidentified.
What
flying objects.
if there is these?
Yeah, that's my question. Listen,
you know what does that mean?
Biblically?
I mean, from a biblical standpoint,
Does
what does
God-
that mean for us?
does God still exist if aliens exist?
Yeah. So what does that? What does that say?
Yeah.
You know, that's the
Here's
question.
the thing: like the Bible never says that this is the only civilization that God ever
No.
created. Could there be a whole nother?
Well, I mean, and if you think
Well,
about
I've already put like, you know, ultimately God created us special and a purpose, and really the universe biblically, I would think revolves around earth. I mean, really, but way he created and his purpose for redemption. I mean, it revolves around earth, and not to say we're flat earth or
but the Catholic Church said that too. It's why they burnt people at the stake for their views that the earth was.
Thanks a lot, Galileo. Gosh,
but I don't
heliocentric.
I would think, a heliocentric view would be that we're not that. I think if I understand that correct, geocentric would be
geocentric.
We are the
solar
center.
System is revolving around Earth.
Yeah, and the Milky Way is the center.
Well,
the center of all. Well, not that the sun, revolves around us or in that way, but ultimately,
the way that I've heard it explained well is we are the only ones in the universe that there is no aliens. The reason why God created the universe ginormous is to somewhat give us a glimpse of His grandeur and His awe and His wonder. My problem with that is the Bible just don't say that.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just saying that the Bible doesn't say. And you see those stars, they're there for you to see how big God is.
But my thing is, what if that does come out and they do have these alien beings?
That's what I'm saying.
What does that mean?
It doesn't change. It shouldn't. To me, nothing that I encounter on this side of heaven should change my faith.
But what if? What if this alien or whatever says, okay, Stonehenge or the pyramids, hey, we were responsible for that. We created you.
Todd's been watching a lot of ancient aliens.
He's been on the History Channel.
I'm just saying. What does that?
That is interesting. But then you have to say that you trust the alien.
Right.
How do you know the alien's true?
But if you don't have an understanding of the Bible, you're going to be deceived.
That's true.
I got you.
To the point that you will reject any authority of God's word.
You're not saying that all that would be true. You're saying that's what they would propagate.
I thought that's where we were headed. I was like, wait a minute.
I'm not saying that's going to happen, or I'm just.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying from a biblical standpoint, you need to know God's word in order to no matter what happens.
Can you imagine? Like you think about.
You understand truth.
Right.
You think about apologetics now, where we have to defend our faith against atheists. What if we then had to start defending against atheists?
Some alien shows up like, I created people. Oh man, everybody, all the pastors are like, man, this is something else that we gotta.
But you know what's so sad? Like, dude, this is what's sad to me is you bring up a good point. I never even really thought about is I can almost guarantee with certainty that if some alien life form came down and started spitting off some erroneous claims, everyone would listen to them.
Yeah,
just like Facebook,
without question.
And I've even heard, it's demonic. This is demonic. These alien things, and it's just Satan's attempt to, prove that God's not God. So the world would follow that.
But I do think that the size of the universe, which is they've not even began to even come close to effectively measuring. No. I mean, because they're talking like infinity. They're talking
it's still expanding.
Millions. Here's the deal: millions of light years. So if you could even travel at the speed of light, that you would you can't even cover the expanses in all directions of, which to me means somewhat like if God created, not if, obviously that's the wrong statement. The fact
Genesis 1.
The fact that God created all of that. The fact that God created all of that, and if there's something else out there that resembles Earth and life form, we may not ever even encounter it,
So I don't know if y'all saw this. I saw this the other day and it kind of rocked my world a little bit. Here's why: because there's UFO sightings all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Even more. I mean,
because of cell phones,
rarely is it by someone official. It's usually Uncle Jed. You know what I'm saying? I saw it. There's about 5 or 6 lights. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This is not it. And this dude is got some powerful stuff. And he sees this.
Here's a view of the Aurora parasite. I don't take it from. Oh, how did we get on top of the International Space Station?
Really powerful engines. See? What is it? Over Antarctica? Boom. And then we got some weird stuff on here. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really...
I couldn't... Like,
you didn't see it?
I saw the star-looking things, the lights.
Yeah, the light. That's what I'm talking about. It's UFO. Boom. What is that? Over Antarctica.
I don't like this video. I need a before and after.
Now, have you seen the video that was taken where the saucer like went straight into the water, like
Tic Tac?
Like,
yeah, the Tic Tac footage.
See, I don't know if I've seen that.
You've never seen Tic? I just did.
Dude, that one's.
I thought I did, but I saw something else.
You can find like the most skeptical scientists.
Well, I mean, you know,
and they will tell you that's the best footage that we have.
Well, you know that the reason that we landed on the moon was for the Transformers. So,
no.
Dark side of the moon.
Sam Witwicky. Yeah, I have seen this. That's the one I was thinking about.
Hope we might get.
We're getting ads right now. What kind of podcast is
hopefully
this?
we don't get messed up on like copyright info because I'm putting CBS stuff up here.
Do. Oh yeah, I've seen this because they're like
this thing goes from like 0 feet to 20,000 feet in like less than a second. And so they're following, these Navy pilots are following these things in the ocean, and no one knows what they are. Off of the coast of California.
I think it was somebody that was on Rogan that was like, Rogan was like, is there intelligent life out there? Is there intelligent life? And if there is, why are they not here?
Yeah, look at that.
Like, what is that?
What?
And it got,
what is that?
and the guy that was on Rogan goes, well, maybe there is intelligent life, and they're so advanced that when they saw Earth, they realized we're not really advanced. And they're like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, we're not
look at those dudes. They don't have anything.
Well, all right, so I think this was a really interesting viewpoint. I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about this. He's an astrophysicist, and he's skeptical of aliens at all. He feels like we would have found them by now, but he said that if alien forms do exist, then they have to be peaceful. Because if they were imperialistic, where they wanted to take over Earth, then they would have already killed each other off at their own planet trying to take each other over. It's just a really interesting.
Okay, but if that theory is true, how do we... That could have happened and we don't know it.
They would be dead and wouldn't make it to Earth, is what his point is.
Okay, but either way, we don't know. Because we don't know
certain. That's a theory.
Where there's life.
That one's just kind of
that could be a theory, but like
I would say it'd be more. Why,
he's probably smarter than me, but
he is very
okay. If there have been UFO sightings since the 40s or whatever, then
they would
assume they would be peaceful because they haven't
killed
because obviously they have more technology.
He also
they helped with the pyramids.
I mean, and Stonehenge. I mean, who put those stones?
Now look, the thing is, the pyramid stuff, because there are mathematicians that say that there's no way with the technology available that early that you could build something
like
that perfect, or the fact that there are.
Have you not seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, the last one?
All right. Well, let me throw this at you. Okay, this is really interesting. Y'all might have heard this, you might not. So
where are we going with this episode?
Yeah, seriously.
Experts disagree on the timeline of the pyramids.
Yeah,
how old they are
historically.
So some
also with Earth.
Some theologians believe that before the flood, human civilization was so advanced that they had flying machines. And then the flood destroyed all that and had to start all over. So if that's the case,
because they were so wicked,
yeah. So if that were the case, then couldn't you also theorize that they were far superior than we thought they were?
Well, obviously, I mean that's how I've always been answered the question. If it started with just Adam and Eve, they were created
superior, perfect genes,
and just brilliant. So you could imagine their descendants would be brilliant.
Well,
but
they had some family drama,
and they live longer.
Yeah, they live longer. And they
like. I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm not even that smart. But I can look back 2 years ago and go, "What an idiot!" Like I was so stupid.
So if you make it 800 years,
you've got a lot of knowledge.
Oh boy, smart.
Yeah.
Well, he's got some knowledge.
Holy cow!
But I think the danger. I think that it's okay from a spiritual standpoint. I think that it's okay to talk about these differing opinions,
like Neil deGrasse.
But your statement though earlier is like, but the Bible just doesn't specifically say the civilization was so advanced that God wiped it out. It says no.
Don't say that.
It says that they were wicked and that God couldn't find anybody that was righteous. Yeah. But I just think that some people aren't. I feel like they would get the cart before the buggy before the horse if you start taking in a bunch of theological or a bunch of theories.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. I think that's all.
I think that goes back to Todd's point earlier. It's like we have to be rooted in the Word first.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the reason why I even man, that was about to sound pompous. I don't mean it. The reason why I enjoy reading and thinking about
because you can
theories,
keep it on the rails.
Yeah, they're not going to shake. I'm not going to like fall into a crisis of faith.
That's why I can read the Da Vinci Code and not go, oh my God!
I don't know what I believe.
Man.
Oh
no! It might make me some enemies, but it's a great book.
I've read all of those Dan Brown books.
Let me just
all of them because for a history guy,
I've not read.
Look, I'm just, whoa.
Well, I mean, they're not historically accurate either. But
all right, like so, I think it needs to be said. Like in regards to a fiction novel,
did you just growl at me?
I did because it's not historical. Like it's horse trash. Like every bit of it. I know, but
it's fun to imagine, just like your little biblical theory.
It's not fun to imagine. Mary Magdalene was in love with Jesus and was married to him, had offspring.
I was talking about the other one, not that one.
That's the first one.
Oh my gosh!
The whole thing.
This episode is where we get. None of us have jobs. None of us have jobs anymore. The podcast is over. Hey, if anybody has a church with a basement that we can film this,
atheistic organization picks us up as a sponsor.
Q's gonna watch this and be like, "I'm never taking vacation again. Never taking vacation.
Y'all will never ask me back."
Oh no! This is what we wanted to do from the get-go.
This is what happens when you have a random night.
So like, all right, biblically,
okay, yeah.
There are some people that believe that Adam and Eve weren't first.
You can't think that biblically.
That's what I'm
I mean, if you're going like theistic evolutionists, is that?
No, I'm talking like I think there are people that
you think there was people before Adam and Eve.
That Adam and Eve are almost. I don't even know how because
I'm not coming at you. I'm just really
no. It's so far fetched that now that I'm saying it out loud, like I don't even want to say it because it's like
look,
I
have heard that Job is actually the oldest book.
What you were about to explain
I've heard that.
is the argument of theistic evolutionists.
Okay, which is
that God created the process of evolution. You can be, which is interesting. You can be a Christian and still believe in evolution.
There is, we have evolved.
Can you?
There are things that have evolved. I'm not talking about from a speck or a big bang. No, I'm not talking about that.
That's what they believe.
No, like the Big Bang Theory, where we basically had nothing, and the reason that we have an Earth and a moon is because certain things in that vastness of a universe that we were talking about collided in just the correct manner. Like
it takes more faith to believe in evolution.
Takes more faith to believe that. Then there's a creator that created everything. Yeah. Like come on.
So this mathematician, maybe y'all heard about this. This mathematician.
If it's math related, no, I haven't heard about it.
He took all, obviously a Christian. He took all of the factors that make life possible on Earth.
Oh my gosh.
He put them together. And was trying to find the statistical likelihood that could just happen on its own. Okay.
There's probably so many zeros after that point.
He figured out that it was 10 to the 25th power. That number is so big, you can take every particle in the universe and make it a piece of paper. And it's not enough for all the zeros.
for that to happen. I mean, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with
to your point.
Yeah,
It takes
I
more
mean,
faith.
yeah,
I'm
and
saying
the
all
same
that
thing
to
with-
redeem everything that we just said. We believe in God. We believe
in creation.
We believe
Just
in
like
Jesus
Genesis.
Christ. We're gonna
Well, I
have to
mean,
start singing the anthem here. You know,
Kumbaya.
even the earth, if it's
is
like,
this a Christian podcast?
even
It is.
even
It
the
is.
fact
we love Jesus tremendously.
even the fact that if Earth was like 2 degrees further away from the sun, we freeze, and if we're 2 degrees
We burn
closer,
up.
we burn up. All right, so last topic. So I think it would be beneficial. Q would also, I think, be able to add a little bit to this because his daughters are
We have
now
17
older.
minutes, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Todd is in this stage of life where obviously me and you are not in, and it's that stage where you've got one kid moving away, you've got another kid about to finish high school, and you got a kid about to start high school. And so I think for a lot, because a lot of people that message me about the podcast,
Another kid that graduates next year too.
no, I did say that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. Proceed. I just want everybody to remember when Derek said he was a theistic revolution.
I don't even know what that means. But a lot of the messages that I get about the podcast, all of those individuals I know have small kids. Okay.
Yeah.
So like we're in this phase of, like I said, helicopter parents at the beach. You know, Gavin's just now playing baseball at some sort of a organized level. I won't say high level because it's not, but it's somewhat.
What's it, 6 and under?
Yeah, they're coach pitch. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's somewhat more organized than T-ball, which is
It's a lot more organized
way
than
more
T-ball. Holy cow.
All right, so walk me through, and I'm just gonna kind of. You probably don't have like a dissertation prepared.
I do not.
That's fine, but I just want you to talk about like that transition that we're about to blink, and all of a sudden we're going to be in grade school, and then we're going to be dealing with the middle school bull crap. I'm just going to call it what it is, because I used to be a middle school teacher, and middle school, like if I dread anything as a parent, it's the middle school, and it's nothing to do with grades. It's nothing to do with. It's just the social aspect of it. Like it
goodness.
Just
and
homeschool your kid.
then high school, and like just the fact that now you're, which obviously as Christians we know that God's given us kids for us to raise up and then let them go. Like that's the whole point. Like they're His kids.
They're out on their own.
That He just is trusting us. Just like He does with anything else, for us to take care of and to grow.
Like arrows.
Yeah. So just walk me through, like talk about some like things that you feel like you've done well. Maybe some things that you could, obviously, because in every phase of life there's something that we would go. If you say in every phase of life I wouldn't change anything, I call bull on that, because if we could go back and change words or things that we've done, we'd make them better, because we screw things up. So just talk a little bit about this older parenting thing.
I don't know. I'm no, like, definitely don't have it all figured out. I mean, like my two older girls, I would go back. I'll start with that. If I was to go back and just redo like parenting, and my wife we've both talked about this, the fact that we had such high expectations of our kids, like in every arena, school, church, this is what we held them to that standard, to probably overly, because we want them, when they're whatever situation they're in, we want them to act like, hey, these are our kids, you want to act right, but it's almost to a fault, because both of our kids, I mean, I'm telling you, just so blessed. I mean,
you have tremendous kids.
They my goodness. I mean, I could go on and on, story after story of our kids. Just not anything that we've done. It's just they're just great kids. They just their personality. They want to do right. They want to serve the Lord. They want to. I mean, we wake up in some Sunday mornings and we're like, I don't feel like going to church today, and they're like, we're ready to go to church, and but I think to a fault we spent so much time just like hammering that, and then they get, if they did something just kind of off color or something. And, we were very, pretty hard on them, and so like now I see like Evie, who struggles with like stress to the nth degree, like, just with anything, she does not want to get in trouble. It doesn't matter what it is. I do not want to get in trouble. And I think she's missed out in high school on a lot of things because she was so worried that I might upset somebody, or I might, I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want to upset a teacher. And some of that's her personality, I think. And not saying that you shouldn't hold your kids to a standard, but I think sometimes we maybe overdid it, But one thing I feel like we've done well with our kids, even from a young age, we laughed a lot. We just enjoy. We weren't, we just cut up with each other. We're honest with each other. We're, we're busy, but when we do sit at the table, when that night comes, we talk about we just sit around, we talk, we share, we're very open and honest with each other. And my wife and I were talking about this the other night. Just, we were talking about different parenting skills, like my parents. It's just funny. We just had this conversation on the way back from like Russellville, and we were just talking about that stuff, and yeah.
No, go ahead. I think I have a question.
Okay,
right? Go ahead.
And so we were just talking about different parenting styles that like my parents had and then her parents had. And one of the things we were talking about with us is if we felt like that we did do a good job. We've messed up a lot with our kids, like just been angry when we shouldn't have been angry, or me and Christina getting a fight in front of them, about something financial or something, and and I think one thing we've tried to do our best to do is always come back, like as soon as we pray through it to get over it, whatever, we go back to this. I'm sorry, I should have. And they see, hopefully they see that we're real, that we mess up, we screw up, in certain, but we realize and we're going to come back and say, you know what, I messed up. And we're honest and real about, situations in our life. And so we do have a lot of open conversation, about stuff, whether it's dating, sex, friends, relationships, whatever it is, the life choices, like with Evie, Ella coming up. We like to talk about it, be honest and real.
I think, and I don't think you're going to disagree with me on this.
I hope I do.
You won't. If you do, you'll be like
wrong,
horrible person.
Okay.
You'll see why I say it. So I've told Todd this before, but like Todd is by far the humblest individual I've ever met in my life. And no, I'm serious. And like,
is that the part that I'm going to disagree with, or
no? I'm saying like,
no, it's not.
If you disagree with that, you're horrible. You're like, I've met someone
actually,
yeah. No. But no, and I've told you before, and I've been that sincerely. Like, I envy how humble you are, and so the reason I say that is because the way I think about things is like, as you're sitting there, you're talking about, some of the mistakes you had, and certainly I'm sure y'all have mistakes. Is if I were to just randomly ask any of your children, do you think you have a great dad? I could guarantee you that every one of them would say, I have an unbelievable father.
Yeah.
So
I hope they would say that.
Oh, I know they would say that. I hope they would.
Yeah.
You're too humble.
I wish we could bring them up on the screen right now. Like,
hey,
so,
how do you feel about your daddy?
You know what? I was eating supper with Ella and my wife, my other two kids. Like I say, we're back in Russellville. But I was like, Ellie, you want to come on the show tonight?
Oh, man.
But dude, she's been at volleyball all day since like 8 this morning. Yeah. And she just finished at like 7. Yeah. We went to eat, and she's got to get up and do the same thing tomorrow. So I was like, never mind. Don't worry.
So we need to do that sometime. That'd
be
cool.
All right. So what?
Oh, let me ask my question.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was sorry.
No. So here's my question: is because you just mentioned it there for a second. We talked about it earlier too. It's like you're talking about how your family right now, not like right now in life. I mean, like right now, is scattered. Like Russellville. As parent, because I know that's not the first time. Like, I mean, you have 3 kids that are athletes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've had to go everywhere. I don't know. I would imagine that young families who have to deal with that, that could be a point of contention.
Oh yeah,
because like there may not be a night of the week that you even see your wife because y'all are going everywhere. So my question is,
or it's late when you do.
Yeah. So and you're exhausted when you do see each other. So my question is as all-star parents, how have y'all dealt with that?
We make time. I mean, we'll come in from ball games. I mean, not every night. There are nights we're just so exhausted. You know, we gotta go to bed. But I mean, most nights. I mean, I'm not saying this, but my wife is my best friend. I mean, she really is. I mean, she's. I don't have just a whole lot of people I just hang out with. Actually, I don't have many at all that I just hang out with. Mm-hmm. I mean, so my best friend is my wife, and so we make time. You know, it's 10 o'clock at night. You know, we finally get done with ball games and eating or whatever we got to do that night and get everybody finally to bed. We talk.
Yeah.
You know, we communicate. And I think that's
crucial.
Essential. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because in a couple of years we're going to be like no kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not far, which is
you don't want to end up.
I mean,
you don't want to end up like those people who like their sole purpose in life is to be parents.
Yeah.
So that when they're like their kids are gone, they don't even know each other.
What
do we do?
I actually had some friends the other day that they were talking about. They finally took a date night, and they said on the date night, like they talked, they laughed. They communicated.
Yeah.
They had an awesome time, and then the kid they go pick up the kids, and like 2 minutes later they're fighting again. And I like when they told me that, I remember thinking like, well, that might be a good sign. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not that you want to, not that there needs to be a ton of tension with your kids, but I'm just saying
you can
navigate that because eventually, like I said, like 18, 20 years, you know. And they're gone,
Dude,
and then if you don't have that relationship with your spouse, like, and I know that, like it's already like Gavin's 6, Nora's 3, and I joke with Mallory and go, they're gonna be at college next week, like you know, like we better enjoy this.
It feels like that. I mean, I remember when I came to the fellowship 15 years ago, and Evie was 3, Ella was 2, and Eli was yet to be born. He was like. She was fully with child when we moved here, and so I remember my first graduation. That
deposit.
Yeah. Oh God.
I'm sorry. You were thinking.
So I know we're about
that
is time.
Your fault. But that is your fault.
We successfully made Todd red.
I know. Oh my goodness. Okay, so. Dude, I don't even know what I was talking about. What was I even talking
She was with child.
No, yeah, and so great with child.
We're at 5th child.
And so
Christina, if you watch this, so sorry.
I will never put her onto this podcast.
Hey, I would say if Ella would have been here, we probably would have said
yes. Yeah. Okay, so when we moved here, 3, 2, and newborn. And I remember my first graduation thing, you know, for church, graduation recognition. I remember thinking in 2007, oh, I've got all the time in the world.
That was my group.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I can't wait.
I wasn't there, but I'm saying that was my friends.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Trying to tell me how old he is?
I can't.
I hope that's when I graduate.
Yeah. I can't wait till my kids are in my youth group. But that's so far away. And then I was like, now I'm about done. Like my kids are about to be done, and you know, who knows whether I'll be still in youth ministry after my kids graduate.
I hope I get my grandkids. All right, so what is like parenting wise? Not like I think every individual has parenting strengths. They have parenting weaknesses. So like, what do you think? What has been hardest for you? Was it a phase? Was it a specific topic? Was it
with older kids? With them, older?
Yeah, as they get older, or maybe it's like because some people are like, I don't deal with kids until they can walk and talk. You know,
I hated baby face.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah, so like, what do you think? Like
times 10, man.
Yeah,
you've seen the whole scale. Obviously, you don't know what it's like for your oldest. You've got one in college, so you don't know like. Done with college, job, marriage, all that stuff. But I'm saying up to this point, like, what do you think's been the most difficult?
Most difficult,
or like maybe it was a phase, maybe it was a couple of years.
I mean,
like,
It's got to be middle
I'm probably
school.
the worst.
It's got to be middle school.
Well, I think just the emotional stuff that girls go through,
Yeah.
like dealing with that. I don't know how to deal with that sometimes, you know, because they're just like just emotions about stuff, and then they go through certain stuff, you know, each month that you know, that just emotions are just crazy. And now I've got now I'm moving into high school, but middle school are just like, he just constantly like can get on your nerves just because he's
a boy.
He's a smart aleck. He thinks he knows everything. Great kid. And I wouldn't.
But you want to punch him. Just
but
punch
there's
him.
sometimes I'm just like, dude, take a shower. Take a shower, please. And that's the truth. I mean, I think. Okay, this summer he might have had 3 showers. Like, I'm not lying. But
you know, the emotional stuff, like even Nora's 3. There are days that I pick her up from daycare, and like her teacher goes, she just was really like emotional today. Like she actually just cried.
Yeah.
And there was nothing wrong with her. And when they tell when they tell me that, I'm going, I am not equipped to handle this when she gets older. Like I'm not, because part of me, old coach, suck it up.
Get over it.
Suck it up.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you can't just suck it up to everything, but like.
And I'm married. I mean, when God designed you to have a helpmate, He gave me the best. I'm telling you, she's so good.
He just dissed our wives.
Well, no, I'm just saying she is so good. If anybody, you need to talk to her. She would be better at this than me. She is so good at just talking them through stuff. I mean, which she is a counselor.
I was gonna say we need to have our own counseling wife anyway. Yeah,
she's so good, and
we'll talk to the sponsors.
Yeah, she is. She's done a wonderful job just talking them through things, and you know, just in a way that I could never do.
Right.
You know, she's just good at it, and so you know, she's been an integral part of, you know, raising our 3 kids. I mean, it's like like our Evie going to college and Ella being a senior. You know, we had to. They were going to do a camp. They were counselors for a camp this summer at Breakaway, and loved every minute of it. But, so that was the first time we were like, okay, y'all drive to the beach 6 hours away, and y'all are on your own for the week. Y'all go, y'all do. They've never done that before, and we're like, gosh, what are we doing? And Ella, and she wants to share this herself, but I'll just keep it short. While she was down there, she felt called to missions.
Oh, wow.
Like full time. I mean, she's always just there is something that I have always felt with Ella that, you know, not that our other 2 are not going to, you know, do something amazing and awesome, and God has a purpose for their lives, but there's just always something about Ella that I felt like she's gonna,
go to Africa.
Yeah, do something. And so she makes that phone call. And as a minister, that's the phone call you want to get. Like, hey, I feel like God's calling. But I'll be honest with you.
That part was like...
That initial thought is like, crap.
Yeah.
Do I want her going through
What
the
you
hurt?
went through?
Yeah, or the hurt and the frustration of ministry. Like, that was my first thought. And I'll be honest, I had to rebuke that. Like, just like, no.
If that's her
what
path,
is the great? What could be? There is nothing more wonderful or great that my kids could do than serve Him.
Yeah,
on the mission field, or as a pastor's wife, or a youth, whatever, or children, whatever God calls them to do. And you know,
don't take the hurt from our path and then
throw
as a roadblock in their path.
You know, my pastor was telling me. Brother Allen, he did a pastor's like retreat with like ministers, like 7 pastors, and he asked the question, how, you know, as you pray for your kids, and he asked the question, how many of you would want pray for your children to be in the ministry? Out of the 7, said 0 said, I want my kids to go into ministry because of the frustration, the hurt, and the pain.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. what does that say? You know, and I think the natural response from a parent, for a kid saying, "Hey, I'm called to preach." Them. I know another kid who's just graduated from high school who felt the call to full-time ministry, to be an evangelist. He felt like strongly, this is what God wants me to do, and the parents weren't supportive. Man, and it's like, this is Christian parents.
Yeah.
So and there's a shortage of people. There's more getting out of the ministry than going in. I mean,
there's a big deficit. Yeah. There's a big deficit currently.
Yeah,
if you're not aware.
Yeah, and so, man, it was one of those moments where I realized, after the fact, I was like, man, it's really amazing, Yeah. And I feel like all three of ours at some point, I mean, Eli's got up and preached, and he's made certain comments, I feel like this may be what, who knows. I'm not going to push it by any means. If God wants him to preach, I believe God will.
Yeah, you can't talk him out.
No, I don't want to push it. I don't want to discourage it. I'm just going to kind of hopefully mold him as best I can and disciple him as my son to, follow the Lord best he knows how. But
absolutely. Well, all right, we have ran out of time, so I appreciate you joining us, Todd. Thank you for coming.
Good to be here.
And
if you don't like Todd, don't be my friend anymore.
That's right. Humblest guy on the planet. Right. All right. Hey, before we go, Derek, you were sitting in Q's seat. Do you feel more like Q tonight?
I know this chair got a lot prettier.
All right, guys.
I love you, Q.
We appreciate y'all tuning in. I know my voice is not near as cool as Q's, and therefore this conclusion and the introduction was not near as cool. Good. But anyway, we appreciate you joining us. Remember, if you have any suggested topics, to leave them in a comment or email us, whatever you need to do, however you're listening or watching this podcast.
Yeah, and just don't share this podcast with our pastors. Thanks.
That's right. All right, guys. Y'all take it easy. Thank you.
What's up? Did you enjoy that episode? We hope that you did. If you did, hit that like button, the subscribe button, and tell your friends about the show. And remember, if you have a topic that you want us to talk about, act like fools, and just goof around about, hey, leave a comment on YouTube if that's where you're watching, or leave us an email, or any way you can get in contact with us to tell us about that topic. We want to hear about it. Hey, appreciate you. Take care.